Let's make some cheesy, crispy potato stacks. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one because these are great as a Thanksgiving side. If you want to serve potatoes in a slightly different way, not mashed, not roasted, this is for you. First thing we need to do is get our herbs chopped up. Now right here I have a bunch of thyme. What I want to do is I want to take and just strip the little leaves off the stalk. Just go backwards on there, they'll come off. If you get a little bit of a stem in there, it's not going to hurt anything. And we're aiming to have probably 2 to 3 tablespoons of these leaves. We're going to be doing thyme and sage today. This can be a little time consuming, maybe a little tedious, but it's worth it. Now the reason I'm using fresh thyme is because there's just such a great fragrance from it when it's fresh. So if you use some dried that you've already bought, it'll work, but fresh works much better. Just takes a little more effort to get everything, but it is worth it. All right, this is about 3 tablespoons right here, and even though these are broken down nicely, I am going to chop these just a little bit, just in case any little bits of stem got in there. All right, let's move on to our sage. So here for our sage, we do need to pluck the leaves off the stems, and we want to try and get the actual full stem off here. And in this, we're also going for about 3 tablespoons. Sage and thyme are just 2 of those aromas that just go with Thanksgiving. And we're just going to chop these up. We do want these in a pretty small chop. It is smelling so good in here. That's looking good to me. It is now time to get our cream ready. All right, let's head over to the stove. I've got my saucepan there. It is at a medium low. First thing we're going to add is half a cup of half and half. Next up, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, half a teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. We want this all to come together. We want it to warm up. We don't want to boil it or anything like that. We just want it to be nice and warm, that butter melted. All right, while that is warming up, we're going to move on to getting our potatoes sliced. Now here I have 7 Yukon Gold potatoes that I've washed, and the first thing I want to do is, we're not going to peel them, but I want to cut the ends off so we have sort of a flat surface there. I'm going to be using my mandolin. If you don't have a mandolin, go ahead and just use a nice sharp knife, slice them thin. And because I'm using the mandolin on my hand that I'm going to be holding with, I have an anti-cut glove. If you've never used a mandolin, you really have to be careful. It's a very easy way to lose a knuckle. So I just want to square off the ends. Now if you want to peel the potatoes, you can. I don't like to. I like a little bit of that potato skin on the outside. Get my potatoes out of the way here. Now I do have a sled that works with the mandolin, and I will be using that as we get down closer to the smaller side of the potatoes when it gets near the end. First, I need to kind of determine what the thickness I want is. And you can adjust the mandolin like this, gives you control over how thick the slices are. Let's just put one through here and see how thick it is. That's not bad, actually. That's about what I want, so we're going to stick with that. That's like maybe just under 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm getting down near the end, so I'm going to use my sled. And that's about it on that. And our slices are starting to build up under there, so we need to go ahead and get them out of there. I'm going to get them into the bowl that I'm going to be using to mix the potatoes with the cream and our cheese. back to slicing. I know you're looking at that going, but you're wasting that potato. Your fingers are more important. It's not worth it to try and get that into a full slice. Now, if you end up with too many potatoes, you can either make more of the same or just fry them up. Just want to dry my board off a little bit here. Get rid of that potato juice. I'm going to get the rest of these sliced up and we'll move on to building our cheesy potato stacks. So all our potatoes are sliced, all my fingers are intact. Let's go ahead and pour our warm cream mixture over this. Now I'm going to add a cup of shredded fresh Gruyere cheese and a cup of freshly shredded Pecorino Romano cheese. We're going to get our sage and our thyme, and we're going to get in here and just mix everything together. Now we don't want to break the potatoes, but we want to coat them with that cream mixture, the cheese, the herbs. Did I use too small a bowl again? Maybe. It's my superpower. Remember to separate the potatoes because they do have a tendency to want to stick together. Separate them and get pieces on everything here. Want to get a good coating on here. And if you feel you need more cheese or anything, go ahead and add it. You can see how it's stuck to some pieces. Go ahead and distribute that, sprinkle it around. And if a couple potatoes break, don't worry about it. But do get down to the bottom. Bring everything up. Yes, it's unfair. Some pieces will get more cheese and cream and everything than others, but that's just potato life. And we will be topping this with some more cheese. And if there's any of the cream mixture left in the bottom of the bowl, we'll just pour it on. Feels like it's kind of absorbed pretty well. We'll see. All right, let's start filling our muffin pans. Because yeah, we're cooking these in muffin pans. So right now your oven should be preheating to 400 degrees. Now I have my non-stick muffin pans here. I did spray them with a little bit of non-stick spray. I just like to do that as extra protection against stickage. We're going to go ahead and start filling these. And this is really as simple as stacking potato slices in here. Use the bigger ones as you get to the top here. And if you have pieces that are too big, maybe press them down in there or go ahead and break them in half. It'll all be good. And just keep filling. I like to go a little bit above the top. You can see how these are a little bit high. That's the way I like to do this. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and fill my other muffin tray, and then we'll get on to prepping these to get them in the oven. So our muffin pans are filled. I want to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more of that Pecorino Romano on top of each one, just a little bit. Now these are initially going to go in for 30 minutes, but they're going to be covered, and we need to get 2 layers on each one. We need to get a parchment paper layer and a foil layer. The parchment paper will help get things off without too much stickage when that cheese melts. After that 30 minutes and we uncover them, they're going to go back in so they can sort of crisp up and get nice and brown. We're not trying to press down, we're just trying to seal the foil around the edges. Now we're going to get both of these on a baking tray. We're doing this because there could be some bubblage and some oozage, and I want to keep the bottom of my oven as clean as possible. So my oven is preheated to 400. These are going in, and I'll see you back here in 30 minutes when it's time to take the covers off. All right, 30 minutes down, let's uncover these. Oh, look at that. Looking good. All right, let's get this back in the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes. It really depends on your oven. Every oven is different. You want the top to have that sort of golden brown crispiness to it, so let's get them back in. See you back here in 20 or 30 minutes. And there we go, our crispy, cheesy potato stacks. Looking fantastic, nice and bubbly, nice and golden brown on top. Gonna let these cool for about 2 or 3 minutes, then I'm gonna plate some up. We just lift these out of here with a spoon. Just delicious looking. Let's have a taste. I want to sprinkle some fresh chives on here. Oh, that cheesiness in there. And that sage and thyme, that scent is hitting me. I haven't even taken a bite, but this is going to be like Thanksgiving. This is such a fresh way to enjoy potatoes, which are a Thanksgiving staple in different ways. This takes a little bit of extra effort, but man, the presentation of it is beautiful and the taste of it can't be beat.